Finally, the time has come. You no longer have to choose between conventional medicine and alternative medicine. Today, unlike years past, your team of doctors from all disciplines are working together side by side for the benefit of you, the patient, to help you regain your health and cross the bridge.
Hi again, welcome back to the Bridge to Health. My name is Dr. Tom Dow, and each week we have a special guest from a different healthcare discipline that works with our team to help you, the patient, cross the bridge and experience better health. Each specialist is trained in different fields, but we all work together to give you everything you need to have the best chance of attaining the best health. This week the show is a little bit different. I actually do not have a guest. It's going to be kind of like a classroom experience for you, in which our topic is going to be weight loss. But that's not really the topic. The real topic is called changing your body composition. Now, what is the difference between weight loss and body composition? I'm going to tell you something that's probably the craziest thing you ever heard. It doesn't matter what weight you are. It doesn't matter if you have 50 pounds, 100 pounds, 150 pounds, or 250 pounds. If you get up around 300-400, it might matter. But what matters is the proportion of your body fat to your lean muscle mass or the rest of your body. That is what determines health, not your weight. Probably the most unhealthy people in the world, who you may think don't look overweight, are anorexic patients. If we do a body composition on most anorexic patients, their body fat is tremendous, their lean muscle mass is very low, because they're burning muscle to get through their everyday life. And so you can't, as they say, judge a book by its cover. You must look deeper. You must look into how the body is really composed. So there's three ways, actually there's more than three ways, but the three most common ways to measure body fat are the following. The first way is using a device called a skin caliper. The skin caliper is used in order to pinch a part of the skin. It might be the bicep, it might be the tricep, it might be your abdominal tissue, and based on the measurement of the fat that's pinched, those numbers are fed into a algorithm or a graph which shows your percent body fat. This device is a little more fancy. It actually has a battery in it, and once the areas are pinched in different parts of the body, it automatically will calculate what your percent body fat is. So that's one method. This method is very unreliable, very examiner dependent. You may have an examiner, for instance, that pinches a little too much than the next examiner. So there's a big variation in accuracy with this device. The next device is called a bioelectrical impedance scale. And what that is, it's a scale. This is a tinnitus scale. A patient actually stands on it. What happens is wirelessly information is an electrical impulse goes through the patient's body, comes out the other side. They don't feel anything, and that information is transmitted to a computer, which then determines the percent body fat the person has and the percent lean muscle mass they have. The amount of water they have in their body. Devices such as this can also determine what your metabolic rate is, which we're going to talk more about that later on. This is a pretty accurate device and can be used at home to monitor changes in your body composition, as you progress. The last way and most accurate way is called a water displacement test. This is done in universities, it's done in research centers, where they actually submerge a person's body in water and see how much water is displaced out of a tank based on the amount of their fat and muscle. And then through different measurements, they can calculate almost precisely the amount of lean muscle mass and body fat on the person. Okay, now, What are normal body compositions? What's the normal amount of body fat? What's the abnormal amount of body fat? And what are the ranges? So what we're going to do now is we're going to go up to this graph on the board. And this graph, by the way, is put out by the American Council on Exercise. And you're going to see 5 different categories of, let's say, fitness. The first one is what we call essential fat. This is the female side. This is the male side. The essential fat is the amount of fat you must have on your body for normal metabolism and not to die. So a lot of people think you need no fat. You must have fat for your hormones to be produced, for your body to metabolize properly, and to exist. So for a female, that essential range, which they must have, is from 10 to 12%. For the male, it's 2 to 4%. Now, you might be saying, how come the females are so much higher than the males? Because fat in females is necessary for certain hormone production. Estrogen, many other hormones need that fat. The females need those fat stores in order to produce those hormones and stay healthy and active. We've all heard the story of female athletes who fall below this level. They go to 3, 4%. They stop menstruating. They're no longer fertile. That's because the levels are below the normal amount for that woman to function normally. Again, once you fall below those numbers, not healthy. And many bodybuilders, when they hit the stage, they're below these numbers, and they're close to death, which is really what bodybuilding showing is about. Get as close to that number as you can, and then as soon as you get done, go eat again. And it's very common that bodybuilders, when they're down below these levels, and they go in and do a show, that night, when they eat, the next morning they're 20 or 25 pounds heavier. Now you say to yourself, oh my God, how can they be 20 or 25 pounds heavier? That can't be just the weight of all the food they ate. It's not. It's water. Most of our body is composed of water. And when a bodybuilder hits the stage, he's depleting all the water in his body, either by not drinking or by diuretic drugs to take the water out of the body, to get the skin as thin as possible so all the striations of all the muscles should show. So again, water is very important in body composition. As a matter of fact, fat tissue contains about 10% water, fat cells. Muscle cells are 75% water. So knowing that, when we do a body composition on an athlete who has a lot of muscle, we expect to see a lot of water content in that person's body because muscle cells contain a lot of water. The next category are athletes. Male athletes usually are between 14 and 20% body fat. Females are usually between 14 and 20% body fat. Males are usually between 16 and 13% body fat. If you're just into fitness and being really fit, 21 to 24% is the female range, and the male is 14 to 17%. For acceptable, meaning just you're healthy. You're not really fit. You're not like a stud, but you're healthy. Acceptable range in females is 25 to 31%. Males is 18 to 25%. And obese is considered 32% and above in a female. Male is 26% and above. Now, I'd like to speak about one other thing that most medical doctors, all kinds of doctors, and life insurance companies utilize to determine your health as far as fat goes. And that's called BMI, okay, body mass index. Body mass index is not a true reliable factor as to how healthy you are. And I'm going to show you why. I'd like you to please zoom in on this chart right here. This is a body mass index chart. A little closer if you could. If that's all you got, that's okay. And on that chart, on this axis is your weight, and on this axis is your height. So you take someone like me who's 6 foot down here, and you go up to my weight, which is around 230, and I'm in this pink range, which is considered obese. Do I look obese? I hope you say no, because I am not obese. But due to years of bodybuilding and working out, I've developed a lot of muscle mass and bulk So most of my weight is muscle. And in fact, when a body composition analysis, I just did one the other day, is done on me, I'm about 20% body fat because I have about 190, 95 pounds of lean muscle mass. So that chart lists me as obese because it's just looking at my height and my age. If you take an anorexic patient, that anorexic patient might be down in the normal range for the weight and the height, but their body composition might be 50% body fat. So this chart really, it doesn't give you any useful information as to the health of the person. A body composition analysis must be done in the 3 ways I outlined just before. Okay, now let's talk about how we change our body composition. Fat loss and muscle gain. It's very, very simple. If you want to lose fat, you've got to cut your calories. You've got to cut the amount of calories you eat per day, and it must be less than the amount of calories you burn per day. It's a very, very, very simple equation. Calories in, calories burnt. So, there is a thing called BMR, or basal metabolic rate. Without getting into how you calculate that, there are ways to calculate that so you can find out what your basal metabolic rate is. That's the amount of calories you burn in a 24-hour period just lying on the couch, not moving. Because the most important thing when it comes to glucose and sugar in your body and energy needs, there's only one organ in your body that needs that energy to survive on a daily basis, and that's your brain. So through different mechanisms in our body, we burn certain things, fats, proteins, all kinds of things, so we can produce energy for our brain so we don't die. So the basal metabolic rate, again, is the amount of calories you're going to burn laying on that couch. Somebody my size, if you do the math, I burn about 2,000 calories per day just laying on that couch. So the bottom line is, if I lay on that couch and I eat 2,000 calories a day, I won't gain 1 pound because I burnt what I've eaten. Sounds simple, right? And if I want to lose weight, I eat 2,000 calories a day, I get off that couch and I exercise and burn another 500. Now I'm going to lose weight because I'm burning more than I'm eating. That's not that difficult, right? I don't understand why weight loss is so different, but I actually do, and we're going to talk about it in a minute. So again, the more active you are, the more calories you're going to burn. If you sit at a desk all day, you're not going to burn as many calories as a guy who's delivering heavy boxes all day and running back and forth from job to job. He'll have more calories burned on top of his basal metabolic rate, so he'll have a higher metabolic burn. Okay, so how do you change your body composition? We basically just went into that a little bit. You've got to burn more calories than you take in. One thing you don't want to do is you don't want to burn muscle. Because if you burn muscle and lose lean muscle mass, something drastically happens. You change your metabolic rate. Yes, do you know you can change your own metabolic rate? Very simple. Here's the equation, and this is what definitely holds true in every circumstance. The higher your lean muscle mass, the amount of muscle you have in your body, the higher your metabolic rate. What is metabolic rate? Metabolic rate is the speed at which the engine inside your body burns calories. So if you have a low metabolic rate, you're not going to burn so fast. The octane to the gas isn't as high. If you have a high metabolic rate, you're going to burn that stuff like crazy. Everything that goes in your body, your metabolic rate is higher, so it burns faster. So watch this. To increase lean muscle mass, if you increase the amount of muscle in your body, you increase your metabolic rate, and vice versa. If you decrease your lean muscle mass, you decrease your metabolic rate. So the last thing you want to do is go on a weight loss program, or I like to more accurately call them a body composition program, in which you see the scale go down every day, but you don't know if you're losing fat or muscle. If you're losing muscle, your metabolism is going to drop, and then when you get done with the, quote, miracle diet, you start to eat normally again, and oh my God, you gain the weight back to where you were, plus more. And now you can't even eat as much, and you're still gaining weight because you've changed your metabolic rate, because you lost lean muscle mass. So you can see how vital it is that when we go on a body composition program, and I'm not even going to call it a weight loss program. Forget weight loss programs. They don't work. Only thing that works is a body composition changing program, because weight doesn't matter. As a matter of fact, did you know that muscle weighs 1.5 times the weight of fat? Which means, theoretically, if you change your body composition, you gain muscle mass and lose fat, that scale might stay the same because muscle weighs more as you lose the fat, or it may even increase your weight. So the weight really doesn't matter. Now, I want to show you something that is very important. And it's just my opinion, but this is how weight loss body composition really happens. So, another graph. This axis is time, and this axis is percent body fat and percent lean muscle mass. So, if this is the starting point of a body composition program, black represents body fat. This is what should be happening as time goes along. Red represents lean muscle mass. This is what should be happening as time goes along. So by the time you get done with your body composition program and you're down here, you've increased your muscle mass, decreased your body fat, and the scale might not be that much different, but your whole shape is going to change. Your whole health is going to change. That fat's no longer going to be suffocating your heart, your lungs, your kidneys, your organs, and you're going to change your life if you do this. Unfortunately, most weight loss programs, diets, quote, they do this with the two. And all you see is the scale go down and you're happy, and you don't know really what happened to your body, which is why your metabolic rate gets lowered, and now you put the weight back on again. Once you do this, you have increased your muscle mass so high, your metabolic rate goes up. Now you can eat more than you did before without putting on weight, because you're burning harder and faster. So understand, by doing this, you're going to change your body comp and your eating amounts of food for the rest of your life without having to put weight back on again. Okay, now I'm going to say something which you may not like too much, but it is the vivid truth. And that is a myth of you must eat many, many times per day, small amounts of food, or your metabolism is going to get shut down and lowered and you'll go into starvation mode. As a matter of fact, that is a myth. Research has shown that if your body fat falls below 5 to 6%, that's when your metabolic rate starts to slow down. It does not slow down when you're in any range above that. So the bottom line is it's calories in and calories out. Doesn't matter what kind of time of day you eat. Another myth, you eat late at night, you're going to get fat because you're going to be sleeping all night. Your body doesn't know it's sleeping. It doesn't know. It knows one thing. It knows the amount of calories you burn in 24 hours and the amount of calories you take in 24 hours. These are all myths. And I'm going to tell you another myth which really bothers me a lot. And I truly believe when you look at the psychology of eating that people don't eat because they're hungry. They eat because it either tastes or smells good. Or they overeat because it tastes or it smells good. In the last 28 days, I went from 252 down to 234. Okay, that's a weight loss of 17, 18 pounds. Now, here's the way I did it. What I did for the last 28 days, I woke up in the morning. I've done this many times before. I woke up in the morning. I have a water. I have a cup of coffee without any sugar. And I eat nothing all day unless I feel hunger pain in my stomach. If I smell something that smells good, I'm not, and I say to myself, wow, I'm hungry. I'm really not. It just smells good. I don't feel hunger pain. I don't feel empty. But because it smells good, we think we're hungry. Our mouths start to salivate. We think about how good that would taste. These are normal evolutionary responses that happen over time. But if you really want to be successful and you really want to change your body composition, it takes discipline. And sometimes pain. Pain of having to go pick up the kids' food and bringing it home in the car and it smells so good, and saying to yourself, am I hungry or does it just smell good? I guarantee that most people in the audience would not have the discipline to ask themselves that question, because once you salivate, once you start thinking about how good it tastes, most people will start to eat, even if they don't feel hunger within their bodies. When you go to college and you're up doing all-nighters for 4 years, sometimes in my instance 8 years with a graduate degree and a postdoctorate and a doctorate degree, do you think that people want to be up all night and they want to suffer and be sleep deprived and be exhausted? Or you think they'd rather be watching TV, watching a nice movie, sitting on a nice island in the Caribbean? But why don't they do that? Why do they study? The reason why is because they have a goal there's a goal that they have at the end of their suffering. It's like that if you want to become a successful businessman. It's like that if you want to become a success in anything. It takes hard work, it takes dedication, and it takes that you have to have a goal in your mind. Weight loss, body composition changing is no different. You must have a goal in your mind. Taped up in my bathroom, and I suggest that everyone do this, is a graph just like this. And every single night when I come home, after I have only eaten when I'm hungry, and when I do, it's usually water or a piece of fruit or a vegetable, just to take away the hunger pains, I recalculate myself. And let me tell you, the most frustrating thing in the world is when I recalculate myself, and the day before I was here, and after all that suffering, the next day I'm here. But if you understand that weight loss or body composition changing does not happen in a straight line. There are ups and downs, and what matters is where those curves are going, the line across. Now you may say to yourself, then why bother looking at this every night? A lot of authorities, a lot of experts say, you should only do it once every week or once every 2 weeks, so all you see is up. The reason why I suggest doing it every night is because it's immediate feedback at the end of a day's work. If you look at yourself from here to here, and a week or two later you're here, you might say to yourself that next day, I can have a little couple of snacks. Look how good I did. It's just one day. I'm going to have... If you know you're going to get on that scale at the end of the night, and you know you just went up from the day before, you know for sure that, hey, maybe tomorrow I got to work a little harder. I want to see that thing down tomorrow night. So that's the reason why I suggest that. But if you do that, you must understand that you're going to have these ups and downs. You may have a bigger bowel movement on this day than on this day. You may drink more water on this day than this day. So you can't look at ups and downs. You just have to have that feedback and look at the long-term result. But do it every day. Now, another thing that I have a hard time understanding is we've all seen these programs on television about these massively obese people, 500, 600 pounds, and they're confined in their homes, they're confined in beds, they can't move. I mean, they literally can't even get out of bed, and when they do get them to the hospital, sometimes they got to break a wall down or a door. These are extreme cases of obesity. But I'm going to bring something up that I really have a hard time understanding. Why do the caregivers, the parents, the people who are taking care of them, feed them all this tremendous amount of food per day? They're cooking 5, 6 meals a day, 3 steaks, McDonald's. Why do they continue to do this? This is really abuse. I just don't get it. I see the same thing with families where I bring my kids out to school events, Little League. Some of these children are obese. They can't get that way unless the parents allow them to get that way. So it's very, very, very important, and I've only touched on a couple of things that I wanted to talk about on this show, that we understand that calories in and calories out determines how we end up and what our body compositions are. If you have any further questions on any of this stuff, you could always reach me at any of my offices. We're in Melville, Hicksville, and Ronkonkoma. And on our next show, we're actually going to have call-ins, phone call-ins on different questions regarding body composition changes. I want to thank you very much for tuning in. And for those of you watching us on Madhousetv, stay tuned. We'll be right back with that call-in show. And for those of you watching us on Cablevision, we'll see you next time. And remember one thing, if what you're looking for is real wealth, join us next time on The Bridge to Health.
Finally, the time has come. You no longer have to choose between conventional medicine and alternative medicine. Today, unlike years past, your team of doctors from all disciplines are working together side by side for the benefit of you, the patient, to help you regain your health and cross the bridge.
Hi, welcome back again to the Bridge to Health. My name is Dr. Tom Dow. And again, for those of you who have seen our show before, you know that each week we have a special guest from a different healthcare discipline that explains what they do and how they work with our team of doctors together, going over findings every day, explaining what we found, and creating a treatment plan for you, the patient. Each week we have a guest, but today we're not going to have a guest. We're going to do part 2 of my show on weight loss / body composition changing. And today we're going to have a call-in show, questions people have about how to alter their body composition or weight. I think we have a call on the line right now. Let's see who it is. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, how are you? Who am I
Good, how are you?
I'm good. Who am I speaking with?
My name is Anna.
Hi, Anna. How are you today?
Good, how are you?
Good. You have a question for me?
I do.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay. I tried a lot of diets, and I do well with them, but after I change them or I, add some foods into them, I seem to gain the weight or, it doesn't stay off for me. Can you tell me why this happens?
Sure. That's something we covered in our first show.
Okay.
And as I said on our first show, that diets really do not work. What works is a body composition changing program in which we want to increase lean muscle mass and decrease body fat.
Okay.
So when we do that, when we increase lean muscle mass, our metabolic rate increases, and when we lose body fat, our whole body becomes healthier.
Okay.
So a question I have for you, Anna, is when you were doing all these diets, were you exercising at the same time?
Yes, I was.
Were you doing just cardio, or were you doing weight training also?
I was mixing both.
Okay. So were you taking any extra protein or any supplements?
No, I believe that I was just, actually probably yes, definitely. No supplements, but I was doing increased protein, decreased carbohydrates, yes.
Okay, that's great. That's a great way to alter your body comp. In most cases, when people rebound and they gain the weight back,
right.
It's one of two things. It's either because their activity level and the amount of exercises they do decreases,
okay,
or they're eating more calories again after they achieve their goal.
Okay. Yeah, I believe that firmly because probably both of that has happened to me.
Right, and it's very, very important to, in my opinion, to take protein supplements, protein shakes, amino acids, because you really want to make sure that you don't lose lean muscle mass, because that will make your metabolic rate lower, and then you're going to have a harder time losing weight the next time, which many people have told me is true. Do you find that each time you lose weight, it's harder to lose it?
Yes.
Right. So,
definitely.
like I said, try to, on the next body composition program, and again, don't go by the scale. You want to have your body composition checked.
Okay.
We can do that at our Melville office or any doctor that has a body composition analysis. You want to do that, and you want to track your weight loss in terms of body fat and lean muscle mass.
Okay, perfect. And I will do that. And I can call the Melville office and set up a consult?
You can. Thank you for calling, Anna.
Perfect. Thank you. Have a great day.
Have a great day. And I think we have another call. Hello, Dr. Dow here. Can I help you?
Hi, Dr. Dow. My name is Franco. I have a question for you.
Hey, Franco. How are you?
Good. I have a thyroid condition, and so my doctor says I have a slower metabolism, and that's why I'm overweight and have such a hard time losing weight. How can I lose weight with such a slow metabolism?
Okay, so Franco, I have a question for you. Are you taking any thyroid medication, Synthroid, anything like that?
Not at this time.
Okay, so basically for patients that are on thyroid medication, your metabolic rate your thyroid levels should go back up to normal on the medication, so people on medication won't have a lower metabolism if it's subsidized with thyroid medication. If you're not taking thyroid medication and your thyroid levels are low, there's two ways to do it, as I said before. You've got to decrease the amount of calories you take per day, and you've got to increase the amount of exercise you do per day. Again, your basal metabolic rate is what you burn in 24 hours. Then you have to do above and beyond that, whether it's in the form of cardiovascular exercise, weight training. You just must make sure that what you take in is less than what you burn.
Okay, excellent.
All right, Franco. So give that a shot and get your body composition checked and see where you're at.
Awesome. Thank you for your help, Dr. Dow.
You bet. You have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And I think we have another call. Wow, this is a popular topic. Hold on. Here we go. Hello, Dr. Dow here. Can I help you?
All right, Dr. Dow. I'm calling because I have a question.
Okay.
Regarding help. I have a very arthritic knees, and I can't do cardiovascular exercise as per my doctor. I was wondering what can I do to get a good workout to lose weight at this time?
Great question. And I'm sure there's many people out in the audience who aren't exercising because they have arthritic knees and can't do cardiovascular exercises. They think because they have arthritic knees. So in our centers, we have what's called a UBE, upper body ergonometer. And what that is a device that you sit on, and it's got a handle on one side and a handle on the other, and the patient sits there and moves their upper body like this and just continues to go. And believe it or not, that piece of exercise equipment burns more calories per time period than any other piece of exercise equipment. It burns more than a treadmill. It burns more than a stair stepper. It burns more than a bike. Just by moving your upper torso, twisting your back, and moving your upper body, you can absolutely get an awesome cardiovascular exercise. Another way you can get a good cardiovascular exercise is swimming. I highly recommend swimming to all of my patients, especially my seniors, because it's non-weight bearing. You're actually being floated, so you actually might be able to kick those arthritic knees and move your quads and your hamstrings and your hip flexors around while you're being supported by the water's buoyancy. So I would give those two things a try and see how you make out.
All right. Yes, definitely will. I'll definitely take you up on that suggestion and work my way into better health.
Great. Thanks for calling. Have a great day.
Thank you, Dr. Dow. Yes, you too.
Bye-bye.
You will.
We have another call? Okay, there's no other calls right now. I'm sure more will come in. One of the topics I'd like to touch on, which I did not have a chance to touch on at the last show, is basically about goals. You've got to have a visual image in front of you. You've got to have it in your face every day. You've got to see what your goal is, and you've got to be reminded several times per day. Such as, in your bathroom, where you shave, where you do your hair, where you brush your teeth in the morning, tape up on your mirror there a picture of a body that you would like to look like. Cut the head off. Put a picture of your own head on there. I know it sounds crazy, but if you get up every day and you look at that, and then take another picture just like that, put it in your office on your computer monitor, and then have that weight loss chart on there, which shows, or the body composition chart, which you have to plot every single day so you can constantly have feedback as to exactly how you're doing, and then a visualization of what you want to look like at the end of your goal. All right, I think we have another call. Hello, Dr. Dow here. Can I help you?
Hi, I have a question.
Yes.
Every time I start a new diet, I start off losing a lot of weight during the first week or two,
Right.
then it slows down. I usually end up getting frustrated and giving up on my diet. Does my metabolism only allow me to lose that certain amount of weight?
Excellent. That's an excellent. What is your name?
TJ?
TJ, that's an excellent question and a very, very common thing that happens to everybody, not just you. So the reason that happens is that during the first week of a body composition or / weight loss program, most of the weight you lose or composition that's changed is water.
Okay.
The first week of my body composition program, On the scale, it showed a 10-pound drop in 1 week. There is no possible way, I don't care if you do cardio for 5 hours a day, that you could lose 10 pounds of body fat in a 6 or 7 day period. So when we change what we eat, when we change what we drink, when we change the types of foods we eat, traditionally the first week or two, it's all water. So you're going to see a drastic drop in that first 1 or 2 weeks. If you lose 1 to 2 pounds a week after that, or even 1 pound a week, you're doing awesome. Because just imagine losing 5 pounds and thinking how good that is in your body. You might say, that's not that good. Try carrying around a 5-pound bag of sugar all day and see how you feel at the end of the day. So it really does have a big impact. So don't get frustrated with those first 2 weeks. That's all water. The best part's yet to come.
Thank you.
All right, TJ, thanks for calling. Great questions here today. I think we have another call. Hello, Dr. Dow here. Can I help you? I'm having a hard time hearing you. Am I on speakerphone?
Yeah.
Yes. Can you take me off speakerphone?
What vitamin should I take if I want to change my body composition?
What vitamin should you take if you want to change your body composition? Great question. So I recommend as a general rule to all of my patients, not just the ones who are on body composition change programs, but just general patients in general, everybody should be taking a multivitamin, multimineral supplement every day. I don't care what you eat, because the nutrients we get in our foods today are not the same as they were years ago. Number two, if you're on want to change your body composition, you've got to make sure you take an amino acid supplement, which is the building blocks of protein, so we make sure we don't lose lean muscle mass and only lose body fat. I would definitely recommend that you drink a lot of water. This is very overlooked in most weight loss / body composition programs, is the more water we drink, the more fat cells get washed out. Very, very important. So if you just do those two things, I'm sure you'll have great results. Thanks for
Thank you very much.
Thank you for calling.
No problem.
And we have another call. Wow, the phones are lighting up over here. I guess I hit a good topic. Let's take the next one. Hello, Dr. Dow here. Can I help you?
Hi, I'm calling to ask a question to Dr. Dow.
Okay. Go ahead. What's your name?
Rosa.
Rosa, how are you today, Rosa?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Excellent. What's your question, Rosa?
Even if I'm not hungry, I have to eat during the day, or I get lightheaded, so I want to know what I should do.
Okay, Rosa, are you diabetic or hypoglycemic?
Nor.
So you're neither. You're neither diabetic or hypoglycemic.
Exactly.
Because audience, please remember the recommendations I'm giving are for those who are not diabetic, not hypoglycemic, or have any other physiological condition which their blood sugar would be altered. This is not for this class of people I'm giving these recommendations for. I'm only giving these recommendations for people who have normal lab results and don't have any serious medical conditions. So Rosa, so when you get lightheaded during the day, even though you're not hungry, when you say lightheaded, do you mean you feel like you're going to pass out, or just like a little woozy?
Yeah, like a little woozy.
And what do you do when you normally do that? You eat Twinkies or cupcakes or Twix, or what do you do when that happens? What do you eat?
No, I'll grab something to eat, not candy or anything sweet, but I'll just grab something.
Okay, so
healthy fruit or something like that.
Excellent, excellent. That's what I suggest you do next time, is fresh vegetables, a fresh piece of fruit, but not any junk food, and just snack on that when you start to feel that way, and I think that'll cut the lightheadedness.
Okay,
all right. And make sure you take a multi-mineral, multivitamin supplement. You may have a nutritional deficiency, which is making you feel that way too.
Oh, okay. All right.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, and have a great day.
You too.
Bye-bye. And we've got another one. Hello, Dr. Dow here. Can I help you?
Hey, I have a problem I think you can help me with.
Go ahead.
Hey, even if I'm not hungry, I have to eat during the day or I get lightheaded. Like, what should I do?
Okay, we just had a call just like that, and what you should do is if you don't have diabetes, you don't have hypoglycemia, you don't have any medical conditions that affect blood sugar, correct?
No, I do not.
Great. So what you should do is eat a piece of fresh fruit, fresh vegetables, no junk food, no white sugar, and I think that's going to take care of that problem for you. And make sure you take a multivitamin, multi-mineral supplement.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
All right. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it really does.
Great. Thanks for calling, and have a great day.
Thank you once again. Have a great one. You too.
And we've got another one. Hello, Dr. Dow here. Can I help you?
Hello, Dr. Dow. I just have a question. All of my family and my parents and my brothers are overweight. Is this normal, and do I have a chance of not being overweight if I try to lose weight?
Great. What is your name?
Sheila?
Hey, Sheila. And thank you for calling. Great question, because I'm sure there's many, many people out in the audience who feel they're doomed because everybody in their families are overweight. So the answer to that question is very simple. There is a genetic component toward your metabolism, but 98% of the, or 98, 90%, 99% of the time, the overweight is not due to genetics. It's due to poor eating habits. It's due to culture. Many cultures enforce eating as much as you can, and if you don't eat, you're looked at as sick in that culture. Such as the saying that I've heard many times, manja, manja. And my parents, Irish, German, raised me when I sat at the table that you must finish everything on your plate. Waste not, want not, and if you don't, it's a sin, and you're going to go to hell because there's children in Biafra starving and they wish they had that food. Culture, culture, culture. Instead of the parents saying, eat until you're not hungry anymore, and then if we need to save that for tomorrow and put it in the fridge, we can have it tomorrow too. We save a little bit of money. Only kidding. So yes, don't go by what your siblings or your offspring look like. Like I said, it's very, very simple. You must get a body composition analysis done. Find out what your percent lean muscle mass is. Find out what your percent body fat is. And then you need to be on a program which increases lean muscle mass and decreases body fat. Simple. Calories in, calories burnt. You've got to burn more calories than you're taking in. And I'd be willing to bet that if everybody in your family did that, they'd have great results just like you're going to have.
Oh, okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you for calling.
Bye-bye.
Have a great day. And let's see if we have another call here. Oh, I guess we don't. So those were some excellent, excellent questions. And really, the truth is the truth. I'm sorry. Changing your body composition, I don't want to say diets because diets mean you do them now and then you go back to the way you were before and then you do them again. I want to say changes in eating habits and changing in body composition. We can change our eating habits and we can change them for a prolonged period of time, but if we don't know what our body composition is, we don't know if we're healthy or not. As I talked about with BMI on the last show, body mass index, where you should be a certain weight for your height. Most ridiculous thing in the world. So we need to make sure that our body compositions are where they should be, and if not, we've got to make that change. Increase lean muscle mass, decrease body fat. Once we do that, your metabolic rate goes through the roof, and you burn, you burn, you burn, and you might be able to eat twice the amount of food you're eating now and not put on a pound. I know that sounds crazy. You might be able to eat twice the amount of food but not gain a pound. Sounds nuts, but if you burn the fat away and you increase the muscle, you now have a fat-burning machine and inside your body, which is running on high octane fuel. So anything that goes in your mouth, it's going to be burnt. I'm sure you've seen people around. My son is one of them. My son is 30 or 31 years old now. Sorry, son, I forgot the exact age. But he is genetically gifted, and he's worked hard his whole life. He's an amateur competitive bodybuilder. He weighs about 160 pounds. He can eat whatever he wants, and he's probably now, without any dieting, just working out 3-4 days a week, he's probably, I would want to guess, about 7, 8, 9% body fat. At showtime, he drops down to about 4 or 5. So here's a bodybuilder that in the off season only has to drop 5, 6 pounds to go to a show, whereas other bodybuilders may have to drop 70 pounds of fat to go to a show. What makes him different than the other ones? What makes him different are several things. Number one, genetics. Genetically gifted metabolic people burn more than the average person. That we can't dispute. Number two is the amount of lean muscle mass in your body. The more there is, the more you're going to burn. And number three is the amount of calories we intake on a daily basis. Simple math. So if you're not genetically gifted, or if you're genetically ungifted, let's say you're at the opposite end of the spectrum. Let's say you were like one of the callers that called in that said he was told by his doctor his thyroid levels are low, and that he's never going to lose weight because he has low thyroid levels, and that's why the whole rest of his family's like that. Guess what? No doomsday messages should ever be given to a patient. Only encouragement, motivation, and a mechanism and a way to show them how to achieve their goal. I would bet if that patient went in the hospital, God forbid, and that patient, because of a digestive problem or whatever, had to be there for 2, 3, 4 weeks and couldn't eat and was just on IVs, I bet you that patient would lose 40 pounds in about 4 weeks. Very common. You've all heard of relatives and people who have lost tremendous amounts of weight. I don't care if your thyroid is low. I don't care. It's about calories in. So if your thyroid is low, don't, as a doctor, instill doom on the patient. Say to them, okay, we have to work with what you've got. If your metabolism is low, that means one of two things, very simple. We either have to cut the calories in or increase the amount of calories burned. And if you increase the amount of calories burned to a very high level, you don't even have to cut the calories in. Because what matters is that you burn more than you take in. So let's say this patient is burning 2,000 calories a day. Let's say 2,500 calories a day. And they're taking in 3,500 calories a day. That's 1,000 calories more than they're burning. They're going to gain weight. But if that same patient now takes in that same 2,000 calories, 2,500 calories a day, but burns 3,500 calories a day, he's going to lose weight without even changing his caloric intake. So to me, the equations are very, very simple. It's just that most people don't have the will, the discipline, the strictness to recognize when they're hungry or when they think they're hungry and something's going to taste great. The media caters to that. The media caters to that with smells. They cater to that with commercials. As soon as you see that Burger King commercial or McDonald's commercial come up and you see that nice, juicy, sizzling cheeseburger sitting there and a kid munching it, whoa, the salivary glands start to excrete saliva, and you think you're hungry. Next time that happens, see if you feel hunger pains in your stomach. My guess is you probably don't, but you think you're hungry because you're thinking in your mind about how good that would taste. Again, some of these issues are very controversial. These are my opinions, but also backed up with a lot of research. And for those of you who have any questions or further questions on any of that stuff, I mean, we can go on for hours on this. Feel free to call me at any one of our offices. Our main office is Melville. The phone number there is 631-249-0011. Feel free to call us there or at our Hicksville or Ronkonkoma office, and we'll be happy to entertain any of these questions. And we actually do put patients on these programs in our offices and monitor them with great success. Again, thank you very much for watching our show. And remember one thing, if what you're looking for is real wealth, please join us next time on The Bridge to Health.